Hey guys, what's up? So today I thought I would talk to you guys a little bit about my anxiety again. And the thing that made me want to make this video was that today I went for my 2-month follow-up at the doctor's for my anxiety medication, just to see how I'm doing and all that fun stuff. And I know I've talked about what it feels like and how it affects me personally, but I haven't really talked about what I do to cope with it, and especially with school, and especially now with the holidays. This is a stressful time for anyone. So I thought I would talk to you guys about kind of how I handle stuff, and still a little bit about how the medication is helping me now, because definitely there has been a difference between just 1 week on anxiety medication versus 2 months. So I'm going to try not to make this a super long video, but I do want to cover some stuff. So first off, I'm going to tell you the medication that I take, and I'm going to show you how I take it. So I have a liquid thing that I take my medication from, because I do not do pills well. There was an incident way back when I was first learning how to take pills, and I almost choked on a pill, so ever since then I've been so freaked out about taking pills. So anyways, so what I take is called Lexapro. It doesn't say it on here because it's a generic whatever, but it's called Lexapro. And Lexapro is it's one of the newest anxiety medications, and it's designed so that there's less side effects. There are a whole bunch of side effects that you could possibly have. Some of it's tiredness, stomach problems, headaches, fun stuff, guys. But this is specially designed. It's the newest kind for a lesser amount of side effects. So first off, I will show you how I take it. I always take it at night, and it's nighttime, so I can take it. So since it's getting down, this isn't a full bottle anymore since I've been taking it. It's down to here, and I take it with one of these medicine dropper thingies. And normally I would stick it in the bottle, but since the level of liquid has gotten too low, I pour it in one of these little cups that you would take medicine with, cold medicine or whatever. So I take 10 milliliters. So I don't measure it in here, I just pour some in here. And this is 30 milliliters, but I just pour about half in there. And then on my little dropper thingy, it says 5 milliliters at the top. I don't know if this can read that, but I just take 2 of these. So I go kabam. As you can see, it's up to the 5 milliliter mark, and I just take it. And then I take a second one, because 5 plus 5 is 10 milliliters. And then I pour whatever's left back in the bottle. And then I just screw the lid back on. So that's all I have to do for that. And if you're curious what it tastes like, it has a very interesting taste. If you've ever been on antibiotics before and you've had to take a random liquid or whatever, I don't know, maybe if you've had, I don't even know what you would take antibiotics for, because I don't really get that sick. But it kind of tastes it tastes druggy, I guess you could say. It tastes kind of like that, and then it also tastes like stale minty mouthwash combined. That probably doesn't sound really good, and it's not good at all, but it's not horrible. I don't know if you guys have ever taken NyQuil. That's what I take a lot of times for if I have a cold, because it works really well for me. But it's any disgusting red cold medicine, it's not as bad as that. So maybe that can help you see how horrible it tastes. And definitely after taking it for a long amount of time, you get used to it and it's not bad at all. And like, I have my friend Becca, she takes medication every day and she takes pills, but she doesn't even take them with water because she's just so used to it. So, I mean, you just get used to how stuff tastes after a while, and even though it's not pleasant, it's like piece of cake now. So anyways, I take 10 milliliters of that every single day, whatever time, around the time that I go to bed. It honestly isn't the same time every night, which probably isn't exactly good, but I don't think it really matters that much. It's not something that you have to like take at the same time every single day or else you're gonna die or whatever. It's just, you should take it every day. Hold on, my cat is getting into something. What are you doing? She's smelling my McDouble wrapper because it smells good to her apparently. So, what else? So, things that have changed since my last video, 1 week on anxiety medication. Definitely a lot of the side effects have gone down. I forget what I said my side effects were back then because that was a long time ago. But I'm definitely, well, see, this is so hard because I can't really say how I'm sleeping because I'm honestly sleeping all over the place. My sleep schedule is so crazy. Like, for example, today I got up, well, I went to bed at like 3. I got up at 7. I stayed up until like 12:30. I went to bed until like 3:30. Then I got up and I've been up. Like, I'm all over the place. But I feel like I'm not as tired as I was before, and drowsiness was one of the side effects. So I think I'm like past that and I'm just back into normal teenager crazy sleep whatever mode, because teenagers just have crazy sleep patterns and all that fun stuff. Another thing is I'm not getting such crazy dreams. I still totally am getting crazy dreams, but I've always gotten crazy dreams since I was little, but I still think I am getting more than I normally would because of the medication. And why that is basically the medication is, I forget exactly what is like the science-y terms for or whatever, but there's like stuff in your brain chemical thingies, and it's something about the happy chemical getting reabsorbed. It's something that has to do with absorbing more of the happy chemical or something like that. Something like that. So there's more happiness, more happy chemicals in your brain. So basically it's like when you're asleep, your imagination is just running wild on happy chemicals, and yeah, so that's kind of why you get crazy dreams. Like, for example, stop getting into stuff. Angel, she smells french fries. She loves french fries. So I was gonna say something and my cat interrupted me. Oh, so for example, one of my crazy dreams was I got attacked by a bear outside like 4 times, and my dog was like trying to attack it, and like, I don't even know, it doesn't even make any sense, but I just get crazy dreams all the time. But it's less now. It's not every single time I go to sleep, and before it kind of was, so it's calmed down a little bit. But crazy dreams aren't that bad. I know I did say in some of my videos, like, I was getting some disturbing dreams, and like those can kind of affect your mood, because if you wake up with like kind of like a bad dream, it doesn't really start you off with good feelings for the day. But again, that could also just be the situation that I just am in life, with things that are happening in my life. So I don't know. And the last thing that I thought of was appetite. And before, I would just eat like a lot, just whenever I felt like it, which was kind of like constantly, because I wouldn't really have breakfast, lunch, dinner. I would kind of just like, it would be like snacking throughout the day, I guess you could say, kind of. So since I've been taking the medication, when I first started taking it, it totally made me have no appetite for like a solid 1 or 2 weeks. And I was just kind of like not eating that much. I was still eating, but just a lot less than I was before. And now it still kind of seems like I don't have as much of an appetite as I used to, and this is a side effect too, but I feel like I'm eating more than I was since I was eating a lot, then medication, and then I wasn't eating as much, but now I'm eating more, but not as much as in the beginning, if that makes any sense at all. It's more kind of, I'm not really snacking throughout the day. I'm only eating when I'm like legitimately hungry, which I guess is good because I feel like that's kind of how it's supposed to be. But yeah, I just feel like decreased appetite a little bit. So yeah, so now I'm going to talk about how I cope with my anxiety, especially with holidays and school and college and all that fun stuff. So let's start off with school, because school is probably on a lot of people's minds. Alright, so just for reference, this is how much stuff I have currently. Today is December 4th. Again, these bonus videos probably don't go up the day that I film them because I'm doing Decluttered December, so those are my priority, and these just go up whenever. So today is the 4th, and that's when I'm filming this, but whatever. This is just, it doesn't matter that it's the 4th, this is just showing you how many things that I have to do, and their due dates, which is a lot. That's about how much I have to do in a week. So what I do that helps a lot for managing anxiety with college, first of all, if you've watched my other videos, you would know that I don't really get anxiety from school. It's being in a school building, which is why I do online college, so that eliminates the whole being in the school building part of that. But of course I still do get anxious about pretty much everything else in my whole entire life, so I do get a little bit anxious about finishing all this. I just whacked myself in the face. So what I like to do, hold on, I'm getting all these notifications. People, stop Snapchatting me please, I'm filming a video. So what I do is I like to write down, stop people! I like to write down everything that I have to do, and then next to it I write the due date that it's due. And I like to do everything either way before it's due or at least a day before it's due in case we have internet problems like we did yesterday, because my dad got this new computer and it's been screwing up everyone's internet. So it's good in case there's a catastrophe, the power goes out, the internet goes out, if anything happens, you're good. So for example, if I have something, today's the 4th, if I have something due the 5th, which I do, which would be my business law test, I'm going to do this tonight instead of tomorrow in case something happens tomorrow and I can't do it tomorrow. That way I already have it done. So it's like a little safety net. So that helps me stay organized, so I know exactly what's due and when it's due, and it helps me not leave it till the last second and like be on a crazy time crunch, because like the way it is for my college is a lot of times things are due at midnight, so like you legitimately have to get it in by midnight. So if you leave it till the last second and something happens, you're kind of out of luck. So I like to do things either way ahead of time or at least the day ahead, the day before. So that's what I like to do to stay organized and to stay on track and on top of all of my work. If you're in high school or college or middle school or anything and you get anxious about being in school, here is a little trick that I used to use when I was in high school. Anxiety really only started really affecting me in 11th and 12th grade, so this is what I have come to develop as my tips and tricks for dealing with being at school, because it's definitely easier being at home with anxiety, because if like you get anxious or something happens, you're home, you're safe, like whatever. I know a lot of people, when they get anxious or they have panic attacks, they want to get out and run and just feel safe somewhere. And obviously if you're in school, you can't really do that. So this is what I have come to learn if you are in a school building and you can't exactly just leave whenever you want. What made everything a lot easier on me is to set goals for yourself. And what I mean by that is, instead of looking at it as I have to go to school from this time till this time, that's a really long time. I'm doomed. Look at it as, okay, I'm gonna go to school. First thing is I'm gonna make it through my first class, which, for example, just say English, because that was my first class in 12th grade. So I would be like, okay, I'm gonna go to school. And I would go to school. And I'd be like, okay, just have to make it through English. And this probably did not help at all. I would constantly look at the clock and be like, when can I get out of here? But just like taking it class by class instead of looking at it as the whole day definitely helped a lot, because then it's like, it seems more manageable. Instead of like 6 hours, it's like 40 minutes. So I don't know, that's how I would think of it. And then for panic attacks, this is what I have learned. People always tell you, like, take deep breaths. Like, I don't know what else they say, but you know, the deep breath thing, it doesn't really work for me, because it's just like, I'm dying, I can't think, I can't breathe, like blah 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 blah. So what I have come to do is, I was given this trick, but I've kind of changed it to fit more to me. So I'm going to tell you how you can change it to fit more to you guys. I forget what they called it. It was like 3, 2, 1 or something like that. And it was, name 3 things you can see, name 2 things you can hear, name 1 thing you can smell. I think. Yeah, I think something like that. And basically what that would do, it would make your brain have to think about whatever you were naming that you could see, smell, and hear. So it would short circuit the panic attack and make that stop, because science. But what I would do, because I would be like, this is boring, this is stupid, like, I would just think of it as a stupid thing that doctors tell you, like, oh, take deep breaths, like the generic thing that people always tell you to do, which doesn't seem helpful because it just seems stupid. This is how I helped myself. As you guys may know, I love this guy. His name is Riker Lynch. He's a celebrity, and I write fan fiction about him, and he's half of my life. But what I would do is I would think of things relating to him. And the key is thinking of things really quick and not spending time just sitting there and focusing on how you feel. You don't want to think of how you feel. You want to get your brain thinking about something else and thinking quickly, so that it's working a lot on that and short-circuiting the panic attack. So, for example, I write fan fiction, so I might think of 3 of my books, and like, so that would be my 3, and I would think of 3 of my book titles and like what their plots were, and just like, because sometimes it's hard to think of like the exact title. I've written more than 50 fan fictions, so I would think of like 3 of my stories, whether it be what the plot is or what the title is, and then I would think of 2 of my characters, which would usually be Riker and Jeff Sterling, which is Riker's character on Glee. And then I would think of 1 funny thing that happened in one of my stories. Because for me, Riker was my happy place. And whenever I thought of him, it was nothing but like sunshine and rainbows, just happiness, like best thing in the world, because I love him. So by thinking about him in my fan fiction and just him in general, it would help me feel happier, it would help distract me, and it would help stop the panic attack. So if you guys have like something that makes you happy, whether it be a celebrity, celebrities are probably a good one to pick if you have someone that you like in mind, or maybe a school crush, or a boyfriend, or a girlfriend, or whatever. You can think of 3 things. Obviously, if it's like, if you aren't into fan fiction, you can think of 3 other things, like maybe 3 of their favorite things. Then you could think of maybe 2 of their nicknames, and then maybe 1 funny thing that they've done. Something like that. Just make it personal to you. Don't just make it like 3 things you can see, 2 things you can hear, 1 thing you can smell, because I feel like people aren't going to really take that seriously, because I know I didn't, because it just seemed stupid. But if you can make it personal, then I think it really helps a lot more, because then it's like unique to you. So I feel like that'll help you a lot more than just naming things that you can see around the room. So that is what I use to help panic attacks. And I don't know. I'm not in school anymore, so I don't really have to deal with that. The only place that I would really get panic attacks after leaving high school would either be out and about, random places, like I had one in Target once, and guitar lessons, which I guess is technically ukulele lessons, but I mean, I don't really know what you guys want to know. So if you have any questions about anything relating to anxiety or panic attacks or anything, comment down below. And how I would deal with that now, because I do still sometimes get them now, is I just sit there and I just focus on something else. Usually, like, it's hard to do the 3-2-1 Riker Lynch thing if I'm in ukulele lessons, because a lot of the times I'm trying to concentrate on playing a piece of music, so it would be kind of hard to concentrate on thinking about Riker when I'm trying to read notes on a piece of music. So normally focusing on the music can help distract me enough, because it's hard and complicated, so that's making your brain work too. But whenever I have a panic attack, I just kind of sit there and I let it pass. And yeah. So, for the holidays, something that can help you to stay less stressed and less anxious is to do all of your Christmas shopping way ahead of time. And I know a lot of people already say do this way ahead of time, but I asked people who I was buying gifts for, mainly my parents, what they wanted back around Thanksgiving time. So when Black Friday and Cyber Monday came around, I ordered their stuff then so I could get a deal on it, and I have all my shopping done, and it's the beginning of December, so no crazy whatever. And even like my dad said, he commutes back and forth to work, it's like an hour, and he said that there's so much traffic now for people who are going shopping, and like it's just not good. And if you don't like shopping, like I don't like shopping, so I don't want to go out and about and deal with crowds and people and all that stuff. Like, I would recommend getting it done early, which is what I've done. And again, another thing that I found that just really helps just everything in general is make a list of everything that you have to do. Put a date on it, whether it has a date or you're setting yourself a goal date. Make a list, put some dates, and just try to work on it. And just, this is the key to everything. Set yourself small goals. This relates to getting through a day, whether it be high school or whether just your tasks. Don't look at it as the whole big picture. Take it task by task and just work on accomplishing one at a time. And that seems to really help, because when you look at everything, it can seem really overwhelming, but when you just look at one thing, it seems manageable. Alright, so now for how I cope with anxiety just in general in life, I'm going to tell you what I do. So this is a really important thing to keep in mind for, I think, any mental illness, whether it be anxiety, depression, or pick anyone you want. You don't want to stay in your room or in bed and isolate yourself, because isolation is really damaging to your mind. And I know this from personal experience. A few years ago, for like one summer, I was really not doing so well, and I basically stayed in my room for the whole summer, and I didn't really come out of my room that much. I didn't really talk to any of my friends up in my cabin. I just kind of stayed in there and did nothing, and wrote a fan fiction called Riker's Depression, and poured out all of my feelings and thoughts into that one book, which did become my most popular book on my fan fiction account, but it's not a good thing, and it definitely didn't help anything, because I was just in my room and alone, and it wasn't good. You want to get out of your bedroom and do things, whether it be going to the grocery store or just out to get the mail, sometimes you just need a little fresh air, and that can help a lot. But something that I have learned, again, from personal experience, you don't want to spend all your time sleeping in bed, because it feels like you're doing nothing and you're getting nothing done. It might feel amazing to just sit in bed all day. I know it does. I mean, who wouldn't love to just sit in bed and do nothing for the rest of their life? But when you sit in bed all day, you don't get anything done, and you procrastinate and you stress out about stuff that you haven't done. So when you make yourself get out of bed and you accomplish things, you feel really good about it, and it makes you want to do more things. And once you get going on that cycle, then you just get doing more and more and more, and you accomplish more and more and more. And it doesn't even need to be stuff like, oh, I have to write a paper for school. It can be that, but it could just be, oh, I have to put away my laundry. Oh, I have to do the dishes. Like, simple stuff, but just get out of bed, get moving, get stuff done, and it'll feel good when you are accomplishing stuff. Also, this is very important for mental illness. A lot of people will tell you to do whatever. Like, it doesn't matter what they're telling you to do. I know a lot of people say, oh, this is what you're supposed to be doing with your life. Focus on school, focus on, I don't know what else, school, your job, your career, whatever. But a lot of people forget to take time to focus on themselves. And focusing on yourself might sound very like stupid or like egocentric or whatever, but it's very important to spend time on yourself, because you need some attention and you need some care. So find a hobby or 2 or 3 or however many you have time for, and spend some time, set aside time every day or every other day, and do what you love to do. For me, I love writing fan fiction, and this helps with my anxiety, because when I'm writing fan fiction, I can completely take myself out of whatever I'm feeling, whatever situation I'm in, and just focus on fan fiction. And it's kind of like I'm in a different world, and I'm in Riker's world, in whatever story I've created for him. So, actually, what I usually do is, I forget what it's called, but you have 2 windows, 2 like browsers on your computer. Oh, I think it's called snapping. Tell me if I'm right or tell me if I'm wrong. But you take one window and you click and hold and drag it to the other side until it pops up over half of the screen, and then you do the same with the other one, and it covers the other half, and I'll have fan fiction on one side and YouTube on the other. And I'll watch YouTube and I'll type fan fiction, and it's a very happy time. And then the other thing that I do is I play music, and it could be guitar or ukulele. It doesn't really matter. It could be any hobby of yours at all, but I think music especially is a good hobby to have if you're anxious or depressed or whatever else you might have, because with music especially, when you're trying to play chords and sing lyrics and strum a strumming pattern, your brain can't really think of whatever is making you anxious or depressed or anything. You can really only concentrate on trying to strum and the chords you're playing and the lyrics you're singing. So that also helps take your mind out of whatever situation you're in and can help you just focus on something that you love doing. For example, music. I would also say maybe write music, and that could be a way to get your feelings and thoughts out. For me, I'm not good at writing music because I've never been like a poetic person, and like similes and metaphors and like rhyminess and like all that fun stuff. Like, I'm just not a poetic person. I'm very literal in what I say. I can't be like, it's like the summer wind at midnight, or I don't even know. Like, it's just not who I am. And to be honest, I think the best song that I ever wrote was a song called 10,000 Miles. And I wrote it about me and my friend Sarah. She lives in Australia, and it was kind of a song just on all of our inside jokes. And I think that it was my best song because it has the most meaning to me. It was really funny. It was really fun to write. And I think it just sounds the best. Like, just the way that the chords and the lyrics go together. And it's very literal. My cat is snoring, if you can hear that. It's just very literal, and See, it doesn't even matter if you don't think you're good at writing songs. I don't think I'm good at writing songs. I think I'm very good at writing very literal, funny things. But it doesn't matter. Whatever makes you happy, do whatever makes you happy. And it doesn't even have to be one of these hobbies. It could be reading a book, or running, or jogging, or playing a sport, or playing with a pet. Playing with a pet too helps, and I've done some research, and cats and dogs especially, those two animals, help with anxiety and depression and other mental illnesses, because like it had something to do with when you're with a pet and stuff, it like releases happy chemicals. And also exercise too, that releases happy chemicals. So keep all that in mind. Yeah, so as you guys know, I have Angel, so she's my happiness animal. I sleep with her, so I'm with her pretty much 24/7, especially since I do college from home. I'm with her in the daytime, at night, and we cuddle, and she purrs, and she makes me happy. So, I don't know. I guess that's all I have for you guys today. Can't really think of anything else that I have to talk about. Angel's tired. She's ready for bed. I'm kind of ready for bed. I haven't gotten that much sleep. But yeah. As I said in my video where I think it was a get ready with me, it's my first random bonus video throughout December. I'm not going to be doing shout outs in my bonus videos because I'm saving that for Decluttered December. But if you guys want to comment down below any thoughts or advice or questions or comments or anything about anxiety or anything really, comment down below. If you have questions or advice or anything you want me to talk about in my next anxiety chat video thing, comment that down below and maybe I'll cover it. And especially if you have advice, I'd love to hear your advice on how you deal with your whatever you have. A lot of mental illnesses can have similar side effects or similar coping strategies, so sometimes even though you might not have anxiety, something else that you might have might be similar, and it might have similar effects and similar coping strategies, so some things work the same for both. So comment down below if you have any thoughts or anything. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this random video of randomness and anxiety, and yeah. And subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And, well, I already know I'm going to see you tomorrow for Decluttered December, but I don't know when I'll see you again in another bonus video. But I will see you tomorrow. So, bye!